Hi, I'm Sarah-Brooke Styles. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the clinical director of Mind Body Integrative Therapy. Today I am filming from a hotel room near Carson City in Nevada. I am traveling for my son's basketball tournament, and I didn't want it to impede my commitment to doing a video every day for 30 days, so here we are. Today I wanted to talk about emotions, identifying emotions, expressing emotions, regulating emotions, and more specifically, how some people are not able to access their emotional state. I was talking to a client the other day, and she was saying how intensely she has been experiencing certain aspects of her life. And she's like, I know I'm having these really intense emotions, but as soon as I drop into my body to feel the emotion, it goes away. Like a snap of the fingers. I can't access the emotion and how it feels in my body. This is a really common experience for people who, as children, their needs were not met by expressing emotion. This can happen with well-intended parents. It definitely happens with abusive parents, but even on the line of like your best intended parent can invalidate their child's emotions. So for example, say you're 3 years old and you are really scared, and you go to your parent and you're crying and you're asking for help, and the parent is maybe dismissive and says, you're fine, go back to bed. Or maybe they get angry and say, you've gone out of bed too many times, nothing is under your bed, just go back to bed. Nonetheless, regardless of the situation, if the child who is expressing the emotion doesn't get their needs met through expressing that emotion, that sends a message to them. So if we do this like a couple times, not a big deal. We all do this as parents, here and there. But if it is a prominent, pervasive experience for a child, their emotions never really get their needs met, they are constantly dismissed, what happens is this very instinctual part of ourselves turns that switch off, because essentially it is not helping that individual survive. It is not helping that individual get their needs met. And so this very subconscious, primal, instinctual part of ourselves turns that off, that emotion piece off, and it finds a different way to get their needs met to survive. So if this was the case, which it is, unfortunately, for a number of people, there are a lot of adults who cannot access those emotions in their body, right? It gets shut down so quickly that as soon as there's a little attention paid to the emotion, it's turned off. So I was talking to this client, and it's like, where do we go from here? And what I highly suggest starting is, there's a lot of components to this, but if you shut off your emotions, say at age 5, then your emotions have not developed to a more mature state past that age. And I could talk about that for hours, but for the purpose of this video, the important piece to know is that when you start feeling that emotion, it's going to feel like that 5-year-old feeling it. You're not going to know how to regulate it. You're not going to know how to control it or manage it. It's going to feel really intense. And so that's just a good disclaimer to keep in the back of your head. But we're not even at the place of being able to feel that emotion. What needs to come first, before the body instinctually will turn the emotions back on, and just a side note, if if you have one emotion turned off, it turns them all off. And so as much as you don't experience maybe great sadness or anger, you also don't experience great connection and joy. So that's just a side note, that a topic I could go into for a long time as well. But what we want to start with to even be able to access the emotion is to let that 5-year-old self know that they're safe. And so what you would want to think about is, when did my emotions shut down? If I can even remember a time where I really felt my emotions, then we're looking maybe even pre-verbal, 2 years old, right? Or younger, where my emotions got shut down. If you can indicate a specific age, that's great, but not necessary. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start at asking yourself, what would make that 2-year-old feel safe? What would make that 7-year-old be safe? Whatever age those emotions got shut down, what would help them feel safe? Because safety has to be developed before that switch gets turned back on and we feel emotion again. So if it is, I've never felt my emotions, I can't remember, it was probably 2 or younger, that might look like rocking in a rocking chair and like humming to yourself, accessing that polyvagal nerve by humming and turning on that parasympathetic nervous system. That rocking is very soothing for a young child. Maybe even holding something in your hand, right? If you were 8 years old, right? What feels safe and comforting to that 8-year-old? Pull that technique and that practice into your day-to-day schedule. Schedule in 10 minutes to just do something for that younger part of yourself to feel safe. And over time, when safety has developed, those emotions will start to turn back on, because what you're doing is you're reparenting yourself. You are nurturing yourself, and you are letting yourself in all the ages you ever were, right? We're all the ages we ever were. Essentially, you're letting them know, we are safe now, and I will respond to your emotional needs. And that switch will instinctually flip on. I can't tell you how long it'll take. It's different for everyone, but I've seen this happen time and time again. So give this a try. Let me know how it goes. Talk to you soon.